Okay.
Yeah, let them all in.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay, should be all set.
Is everybody in?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're going to open the meeting of the Hampden Conservation Commission for June 9th. We don't have anybody voting from a distance. But if you want to speak, don't forget to say your name and your address so we get that on the tape. And let us know if you can't hear us. Okay, we are recording the meeting. Tonight, we're going to review the newest element of the Scantic Valley Water Project. We also have an RDA for new poles and tree removals on Chapin, and 2 other maintenance notifications for Main Street and associated locations and Thresher Road. July 17th, we're going to have a humongous meeting with 530 Glendale, the Main Street Eastbrook Bridge replacement proposal, an NOI for a house on Stony Hill, an RDA to replace a retaining wall, an RDA to construct a pump house on South Road, and another NOI on Wilbraham Road for a house.
It's Glendale Estates.
What's Glendale Estates?
I mean, Glendale Solar.
That's where I started. Okay. So tonight for Scantic Valley Water System. And we have Jennifer and Kate from
Hello.
Time Bond. Jennifer, do you want to describe the project? Do you want him to share host with you so you can?
I can share if you'd like, but I think verbally we can go through it, and if there's anything particular you'd like to see, we'd be happy to show you. I'll do the quick intro of the project and then pass it over to Kate, and she'll go into more of the details, especially for jurisdictional areas and impact. So just in general, this project is a expansion to the existing pump house. Right now, there's 16 services off of the Scantic Valley water system, and will be through this project and may be expanded, be 2 phases, still be determined, but it'll be 19 additional homes that'll be connected to the system with about 5,000 linear feet of pipe. And the pump house will be, existing one will be eventually demolished after the new one is built. It's a bit of a larger footprint than the existing building to accommodate this expansion. The primary reason for the larger building is to provide storage tanks in the building that will allow for constant pressure through the system. Currently, there's an operating range of 70 to 90 PSI, but with this booster pumps that we're installing in the building that's new, and these storage tanks will be able to provide a more constant pressure into the system as well as accommodate the expansion. We are and have submitted a permit to Mass DEP for the expansion, and it's under their review. And so that's kind of the gist of the project. We are in several jurisdictional areas, as you can see in the NOI that we submitted adjacent to. There's no immediate impact in jurisdictional areas, and that might be a good segue over to Kate.
Yes, that was the quick rundown of kind of what's proposed for this existing line extension. So the resource areas within the proposed work area are riverfront area for both the Scantic River and Eastbrook, and the 100-foot buffer zone off of some adjacent bordering vegetated wetlands and inland bank itself of the East River or Eastbrook and Scantic River. Sorry about that. So most of the water line installation and expansion work is going to be within the existing roadway, and takes up pretty much most of what's happening in riverfront area, both on Main Street and the associated Glendale Road in particular, and Scantic Road. And then the rest of the work, primarily what's happening at the pump house reconstruction and an increase in size is happening within the 100-foot buffer zone. So we were able to stay out of riverfront area for that location, but it does fall within the 100-foot buffer zone. All of the work within the roadway is going to be restored to pre-existing conditions. We don't anticipate any grade changes for any of that in riverfront. And same thing with any of the connections to the houses. All of those will be restored. Some of it we're trying to go up driveways, but if we can't go up driveways, it'll be connections along the in the grassed areas of people's lawns. And so that will be restored to existing grade and loamed and seeded. So everybody has hopefully no impacts from the installation. There is one culvert that needs to be crossed, I guess, for the water main installation to the south side of the project area on Scantic Road. We do plan to HDD underneath that, so there's no impact to the stream itself. And so we're just going to be going underneath the existing resource area, I guess, at that point. Trying to think. The building itself will be about 20 feet by 35 feet with an associated 2,780 square feet of disturbance. There is going to be some tree clearing and vegetation removal just to expand that existing area where the pump house is and to install the new pump house, which is larger, and associated parking around it. Also just to kind of have some maintained lawn so it's not covered by vegetation the entire time. Trying to think what else.
Yep, and there's an existing gravel road that we'll just be maintaining. So right now, if you've been out there, it's kind of filled in with over the years with things growing into it. So we've got to maintain that so that you guys have access all times, especially during snow events and things like that. You need to have a maintainable road.
And the commission's kind of aware for like the reasoning for the expansion, just from the continued monitoring of the old Crossroad landfill and PFAS contamination to 19 of the wells in that area. So that's the main reason for the expansion and the new pump house to accommodate this new connection to get water to these residences.
Okay, have you made up a frack out plan for the HDD yet?
Correct. Yeah, so we have included the same provision we did. So if you recall, several years ago, I guess 2021, we did a previous expansion project that also had a brook crossing, which was HDD. So we've included the same requirements onto the contractor that was included in that project that the commission previously approved.
Okay.
Yep.
We can send
And
that
I-
over to the
yeah,
commission as
happy to
well.
send over the language if you.
Yeah, we need to, I've put it in as one of the conditions.
Mhm.
So, you can just, when you're sending stuff in to Bonnie, you can just attach it somewhere.
Absolutely.
And we've been asked to hold it for the natural heritage determination. We usually stick that into the conditions just to be sure it's all together.
Understood.
Um,
Yeah.
And, they've asked to have this considered as a limited project, as it is generally maintenance, improvement over existing conditions of the capacity of the riverfront area, but no expansion. Technically, they're expanding the pump house, but I don't think that really counts. So are you okay with that?
Isn't the pump house in waterfront area?
It's in buffer.
Yeah, with the 100 foot.
Yes, 100-foot buffer zone for the
100-foot buffer to BVW?
BVW, and I believe there might be bank as well at that location.
And they're cutting down trees and stuff in that area.
Correct.
Yes.
That's a separate question.
All right.
Yeah, we take a vote to consider this as a limited project.
All right.
All right,
Aye.
Linda?
Yourself. Abstain.
All right, so we will. Also, they've asked for a relief from the stormwater waiver because it would require a drainage pit to be put in next to the pump house. Kate, do you want to explain why you don't want that?
Jen, I would.
Yeah, I can. Yeah,
kick that
certainly.
one to you.
So, due to the topography of the area currently to do this building, we're trying to just be as far away as we can from the buffer as possible, seeing that we're in buffer. So we're actually, installing the building into the slope so that we're set back as far as we can reasonably be. So we actually have a concrete, foundation wall that's like a retaining wall so that it is pushed back. Due to the, you pretty much have the building, you have the driveway access that's closer to the resource area, and then you have the resource area. So there's not, other than having to do a large disturbance into the slope with a retaining wall, it's just not feasible to install any type of above grade stormwater control kind of system. We have very limited or none, I should say, expectation of water or discharge or uses in the building where stormwater would come off. There will be some roof drainage that's coming off, so we have that directed into a dry well pit, I believe. So
A dry well pit, and where will that be?
it's adjacent to the building here. Let me just bring up the drawing. I just want to double check that. I know we had looked at that during design.
I should have caught it when I was looking at the maps, but didn't.
Yeah. So here. There we go. Yeah, so, oh, okay. Yeah, so we have pardon me, I misspoke. We have a 1 cubic yard. Here, I can share my screen. Here, I just sent the request to share screen. I think someone might need to accept, maybe.
It's been accepted.
Okay, beautiful, good. There you go. Yeah, so here's the proposed building. BBW is over here. You have the road, the existing pump house is to the left here. We have the new building. And so we have a 1 cubic yard crushed stone wrapped filter fabric pocket with a 4-inch drain that goes to this area, and that's for the floor drain. We don't expect any water in the building necessarily, but in the eventuality of maybe a slow leak or like we have condensation that potentially could happen on the side of a tank, we wanted to have a place for little to flow that may come out into that area. But currently we're just showing a drainage swale up and around the building, and then a level area for the stormwater to go.
Okay, and you're going to restore where the old pump house is coming out, right?
Not as part of this project, but it would be in the future. Yeah, it would
Okay.
be demolished and, lawned, I believe is what the town had thought about doing.
So for now, it's just going to sit there?
Yep, yeah, we will formally,
Okay.
once we have the building commissioned, it will be the existing one decommissioned and cut off so that it's no longer active. But yeah,
Okay.
the actual demolition of it wouldn't be as part of this project.
Okay. Any questions?
No.
Questions? Are you here for this project?
Yeah, he was on the committee.
Okay. So you don't have any questions?
Nothing.
Okay. So are you okay with the waiver of the drainage basin?
It maybe if there is a problem, we would know by the time they're ready to dismantle the other one, that could be a place to set some water.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Mhm.
All right, so we can watch, I'll put a monitoring thing into the conditions.
Mhm.
Okay.
Understood.
Okay, and DEP suggested that even though we accepted it as a limited project, that as usual, we still request that you try to fully comply with the performance standards. One of the possible ways of complying with the performance standards is to plant indigenous species. Are you going to be taking out any trees?
Yes, so for the areas shown, for the limit of clearing and grubbing on the plan would be where we're gonna be removing trees and grading the slope.
Okay. Is it possible for you to put some shrubs back in there?
Yeah, and we can discuss with the town, sure, if there's any, you have a certain number, that would be helpful. Right, and species, that would be,
I listed on the conditions, 2 lists that are good for picking species from, but anything indigenous to the state or the county.
Okay.
Is it actually in the buffer zone there? Where there would be planted on the hillside there?
yeah, so this is, so
So
the
we
frontage
want
of the
something
buildings
that's-
and.
It has to
All the water.
Yeah, and it has to be native, just by law, so.
Yep.
Yep.
Are there any other places where I noticed there were a lot of places where there were close trees. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 locations. Are there any trees there you're taking out?
So along the
Along the
roadways,
road?
Jen, or?
Oh, along the
in any-
roadways, not that we anticipate. I mean, there are a few places, we're gonna try to avoid them as much as possible. We have, with water surfaces, we can be very flexible with the route, so.
Okay, and
We're
there's
not
one,
currently calling out for any trees to.
okay, so maybe we can just come to an agreement that if you have to take out a tree in somebody's landscape, as opposed to right up at the roadway, or
Okay.
take out some landscape shrubs, you will try to get those replaced with
Understood.
something, maybe not even matching in number, but something native and relevant.
Okay. Yeah, but our biggest thing was we're trying to avoid doing that, but yes, if it's necessary, for site constraints, understood.
Well, DP kind of has a standard condition that even if you get a waiver, like getting a limited project, they still ask that you try to follow the performance standards. So it's for that reason.
Yep.
Okay. Are there any invasive species that you can take out that are going to be in your way anyway?
I mean, we haven't done an invasive species survey for the area. It wasn't part of our contract to do that. But I mean, if we have any, that it is in our contract that if any are found, they need to properly dispose of them. If the contractor is part of the work, they can't obviously just dump it and spread it to other places. So.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other additions, questions?
And one thing from the Audubon Society had reached out and they had said that there was a particular species of native plant. I believe it was a fern. I don't know if Katie recalls. So we will be keeping an eye out for that during construction to preserve that as much as we can.
Hartford fern?
Yes. Yep. Thank you. Yep.
Yep, it's one of ours. We have like 6 things, I think, that.
Yeah, that was a particular concern of theirs. So we
Hartford
had
fern,
recognized-
climbing fern,
Yeah.
lycopodium, if you want the name.
No.
Okay. All right, and we've also included in the conditions that you need the MPDES permit,
Yep. that's-
the SWIP and the drinking water permit.
Yep.
All right, is there anything else? Linda? Everybody's cool?
Yeah.
Well, it's easier than I expected. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous. And I sent you the conditions, so we'll just be adding in that one that we spoke about. The invasive species is already there, so I'll just add the one about the monitoring.
Understood.
Yeah, and then possibly using that
Yeah,
the old foundation as a detention basin.
right.
Yeah, I'll put it into that condition.
Can we add if deemed feasible or necessary in there?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, that would have to be a separate thing you'd read into the committee anyway, so they can look at it then. And I think there's a lot of reasons not to do that, but it might, if it turns out to be a puzzle,
Right.
There's something. that we-
Yeah, of course, and even, the district wouldn't want to have a maintenance issue that could result from it, if they got a road
Right.
or something, they wouldn't want that either, so, yeah, if we needed to.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want them sent or do you want to pick them up, the permits? The papers?
Yeah, if you want to send them over, that'd be great.
Which one?
You
Yeah,
want them
we-
sent?
Yes,
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 please.
please, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
We
then
can-
she won't send them till she gets that natural heritage stuff and can add it in.
Understood.
Okay.
Okay,
sounds
no.
good.
Thank you again.
Yep, you're very
Appreciate it.
welcome. Have a great night.
The hearing is closed. Well, you want to vote to help close the hearing?
Yeah, you should.
All those in favor of closing the hearing?
Aye.
Okay, the hearing is closed. All right, next we have an RDA from BSC for Chapin Road, 9 poles and tree removal. Hi, did you sign in?
No.
Oh, we usually have a sign in.
Just there.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks. This is just a
Oh,
stand,
I didn't see you over there.
this is just a standard pole replacement thing like the ones we've done already.
This one's a little bigger. It's an RDA
Yeah, but, okay.
and it has 5 pole installations. These are new. That's why it's an RDA.
Okay.
And they'll take place in the 100-foot buffer zone to BBW. And also 3 in the riverfront resource area and 100-foot buffer to BBW. And 6 tree removals along the roadway of Chapin Road.
Yep.
Now you had some pictures of those. Most of them looked like they were mid-sized trees, mid to small.
Yeah, not very big, and one of them is a dead ash tree. But yes,
The largest was a cottonwood,
yes,
am I remembering? Yeah. So I presume in those locations you can't replace them.
along the road, they're being removed either due to the overhead line or the actual where the pole is being installed.
And there's none that are actually in somebody's yard.
They should all be within the public right of way. Any that are within easements would be going through tree warden in Hampden, yeah.
Okay,
So they would be going through that.
all righty.
Do you have any maps?
Yes, we have it. You can go to ours. It's the one that says BSC. Yeah, that one. Open up
And it's.
Yeah, open up that one.
Got it.
and you go to the back of it. So you'll have to go down some pages. Okay, whoops, stop at the first table and we'll just go over that first.
Got it.
Okay, so here on Chapin Road, do you want to explain this?
Yes. Hello, my name is Sonora Lovelace Sell with BSC Group. I'm here on behalf of Massachusetts Electric Company, presenting this RDA for 9 pole installations and 6 trees that are being removed in association with these poles. As you can see from this table, about, I would say a little over half of the poles are within a 100-foot buffer to bordering vegetated wetland. And then 3 poles are within riverfront area and a 100-foot buffer zone. And then, as I mentioned, there are the 6 trees.
Okay, go down to the next table.
So each pole disturbs about 4 square feet, so a total of 36 square feet for this project. The trees are not being removed. They will just be cut and the stumps will be left in place. So there's no ground disturbance associated with the tree removals. And all tree removals and pole installations will be from the road. So there won't be any disturbance going in to install the poles.
How big you said the area, the disturbance?
It's for each pole, it's a 6 feet down auger. It's about 2 by 2. So
Okay, I didn't know if it was one of those big platforms on.
Nope, yeah. So just
No, the 36 square feet is the total of the
Is-
tree,
with just the
Oh, all right.
tree space.
Okay, all right. That's what it's like, 36 feet.
Well, I started to say hole, but they're not going to be holes. They're just going to be stumps.
Right. Oh, all right. Okay.
Yes,
Okay,
the total of the 9 poles. So this work is part of regular maintenance, for Massachusetts Electric Company to support electrical service and, to support a higher electrical load in the area. And then.
Have a DBH of any of these?
I do not have the DBH on here. I believe the Cottonwood is the largest with a DBH of, I want to say 30 inches. The rest are all much smaller than that, more in the like teens. And yes,
Are there new customers for these poles or they're just?
none of these poles are for new customers. However, it is for a higher load, presumably of new customers in the area. But none of these are new poles that are going to a new house or development.
So they are new poles. You're not taking one out and putting a new one.
No, this set is new. That's why it's an RDA.
These 9 poles are new poles within buffer zone. They're mid-span poles, so often going between 2 poles to keep the lines from sort of sagging.
Is this on our site visit list?
No. We don't need it. Can if you want to, but
I'm just thinking Cottonwood is probably significant for shading and stuff for the BVW.
It's got a lot of random shrubbery behind it.
Okay.
And then there's pictures in the back. Let's go to it.
Yes, there are pictures of the areas where the poles are being installed.
Yeah. And it says under each one what they are, so you can find them. Okay, here's the run for it. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. All right.
So that first one is a red oak.
See, so maybe 6-inch diameter or something like that.
Yeah, that one that's not very far from where the line is currently.
Okay, keep going.
The next one does not have any trees associated with it.
Next one.
And then, yeah, so then photo 4, scroll just a little bit so that you can see that tree there, where the proposed pole location is, that one,
Oak, right?
the red oak.
And that one, nope, nothing there. Okay.
And then photo
This is
6,
the cottonwood.
good.
Yeah.
So that is the larger, I think it's about 30.
There are other trees there that I presume will fill in somewhat. I think, is there a small stream that runs right behind that here?
Behind that one, I know there is a small stream in the area. Is that the one? 56, 15. That is not, the stream does not run back there, but there is BVW back there.
Okay. And you can see it's close to the wires.
Now, if it's, this is a question, if it's wet and unstable soil, do you need to put other supports in there?
So the tree will be removed, but the stump will be left. So the roots are still there. The soil will not be displaced. So it will not have any ground disturbance associated with
I think she's asking if there's gonna be any anchors.
The pole,
Oh, the anchors. Okay.
Yes.
Does that one have,
do you guys do?
that one
trees?
does have an anchor. Yes, it has an anchor proposed. The anchors are, the helical, they're just a drill right into the ground. They are considered, de minimis, not, exempt under the Wetlands Protection Act.
No concrete base holding it or anything. Okay. All right, I have proposed conditions. I'll pass them to you. Did I send you a copy? Probably not.
So,
Okay, well, I only made 4 copies, so
Take a picture.
Let's get that to her,
Oh.
and then we'll share this one and then you can keep it. Okay, so basically the first two have to do with making sure everybody's aware of what the conditions are. There's one which says if you change any of the plans, that obviously doesn't include things like you have to move the anchor to the other side or something like that.
I got it.
Oh, okay. Keeping their construction materials, landscaping materials and all that sort of stuff out of all of the resource areas. So I presume you would store them in a driveway or on their trucks or whatever.
Yes, there would not be any storage. This work is mostly done within a day. So there shouldn't be any construction materials.
Dirt that comes out, you take it away.
The dirt that comes out is either used to backfill or removed, yes.
Okay, and you're not bringing any dirt in?
No.
Okay. And there's another one about the separate review. And that if you, asking you to flag any relevant areas. In other words, if there's areas near the work that you flag them, obviously in the shrubbery here, you can't really do that. But if there's anything where you have to protect it from a truck or the workers going into it. Okay, there's a request to call us if you install erosion controls or email Bonnie. Most likely we won't want to come out, but if there's any question that anybody has, they may drive out there just to check it out. There's emergency numbers, and we'd like to have your email so we can call if there's any questions.
Okay.
And you have identified all the trees, and I don't see any locations here where replacement makes any sense. Because you couldn't really put them back there. They'd be in the
A tree replacement?
fire.
Yeah, not really.
Unless it was a tree that didn't reach high heights. The smaller tree with a root system that wouldn't grow
A skinny tree?
to the, you know, to the top of the pole. I don't know what tree exists like that, but
I'm cultivating the blackberries in my right of way. My lines are, they only get 2 feet tall. The only thing is, I'm thinking that one might need like some kind of wattle or something, maybe depending on,
This bigger one?
yeah. Cause it's right on the edge of the wetland.
Yeah. Yeah, if they end up having to deal with dirt, having dirt, then they'll put in a wall.
Erosion controls would be installed for any work done in that area.
Okay,
Um,
so when they do that,
When they do that, I can certainly
just
make sure.
just drop an email to Bonnie. We've
Yep.
got erosion controls in. Anybody wants to look,
Yep.
and somebody usually just drives out and takes a look, make sure. Sometimes people forget to tack them down or things like that, so. And you've already identified the trees to be removed,
Yes.
and that's it.
Okay.
I'm talking to myself. I
Oh.
said, that is it.
Yep. Okay, any questions, any added conditions?
No.
And you're not leaving anything overnight?
Yep.
Okay,
Other than erosion controls.
otherwise, we usually have a condition that says
Right,
loose dirt overnight is not enough. It's got to be
covered.
completely sealed because we've had such bad storms lately that whole piles have just washed away.
I checked this one for negative determination.
Okay, we're recommending negative determination number 5 on the Town of Wetland Protection bylaws regulations allow for maintaining, repairing, and replacing, but not substantially changing or enlarging existing transmission line structure or facilities without filing a notice of intent. And they are new poles, but they're right under the wires. Okay. That's the town one, right? Or is that that's
Yeah. I didn't put that in here, but
oh, we should have
because
a,
the town trumps.
yeah, but we should have one for them too. Oh, here, you can just check that one.
For what?
You put the exception in here and check that one too.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so, we're saying, exception 5, negative determination, and also it's exempt under the municipal laws. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous, okay.
Perfect. Thank you. Can you, send an electronic copy to my email? And then the physical copy to the BSC Worcester office that is
Got that?
listed on the
A copy
Wasn't
to
even
her,
listening.
copy to her, and a copy to the,
We could do that right now if you want.
That's what I was thinking. Can we?
I mean,
sign
I
it?
have 2 here.
well, she wants one to go to the office, so
Oh.
it's gonna have to get mailed.
Yes, to the Worcester office that's on the cover page.
Okay, so you want to go to 170
Nope,
Data Drive?
Mercantile Street Suite 610, BSC office.
Is that in here somewhere?
Yes, it's on the cover page of the application, and then it should be
Oh, here,
in the letter.
Right in the beginning?
now that says 170D,
Yes, in the letter as well.
oh, 1 Mercantile Street, Suite 610.
Yes. That way we get it. Yes, sometimes get lost.
MERCANTILE,
Yep,
Yes,
Mercantile Street.
Mercantile Street, Suite 610, Worcester, Mass.
610, wait a minute.
You don't know shorthand, Bonnie?
No,
That's before
01608,
my grandma.
Worcester, Mass,
Yeah.
01.
1608.
Okay,
So
right.
that's so she'll send one to them and one to you.
yes, perfect. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
well, did you want yours now?
I mean, if you have it, or you can just.
Yeah.
send it to me
You
electronically.
can wait.
Whatever.
We pretty much have this just ready to sign.
Oh, sure.
And then I'll mail the other one tomorrow morning.
You have a copy of these?
Yep, got them already.
Good. I gotta find the signature page first. Okay, it's the hardest part. Okay,
Let me open it up to that page.
we have a second one.
Sorry.
Is this the second one?
That's the other one. Yeah, you might as well sign that too. Make sure this is the right one. No, that is the water one. Where'd it go? Here it is.
You need a copy.
Right, that's that's usually why I make 2. Because they walk away with one and I have one.
Yeah.
But I'll have to make a copy. Did y'all sign that one?
Yes.
Gets hers.
We didn't sign the Scantic one.
Have a good evening, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank you.
Let's sign the Scantic one so you don't have to
It's hiding in there.
get everybody back in to do that.
You did sign this, right?
Oh,
Oh, here it is.
The ink was still wet, stuck to the other page.
And he's just saying her foot stuck to the road on her way back. I had to go pick her up. I thought she was gonna pass out.
What stuck?
back to the road?
Yeah. Let's try to ride her bike back. Well,
Oh, my goodness.
that's why I was late. And she's the dog sitter.
Are there 2 of these or just one?
There you go.
There's 2. All right, and this is the,
This one you have to hold for the natural.
Right, I know.
heritage. Okay.
this is the water project.
Oh, right.
But you might as well sign it now rather than
Sure.
trying to run in and do it whenever. All right, this goes here.
You have a second one?
Yep.
All right. We have another proposal from National Grid for 15 poles on Main Street, Colonial Road, North Road, Mountain Road, and Kelly Lane. So you can go click on that one.
They didn't file anything. They just sent a letter.
Which one is it?
The bottom one there.
This one, the maintenance on Main Street, Colonial Road, North Road, Mountain Road.
Yeah, well, we have a map
Right, we have.
and there's a
that.
nice table on the back of the page.
Yep.
Did everybody get a copy of that? Yeah, okay, so we'll just go to the back of the page. Page 2, yep, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see these are the 15 poles. And you can see that virtually all of them are in riverfront, area, interim wellhead. Several of them are in interim wellhead space.
What's that?
So I have this here because I didn't know. We haven't done wellheads. Wellhead protection areas are zones designated as the recharge areas determined by various incentive methods. There's a lot of different ones. Zone 2 is a wellhead protection area that's been determined by hydrogeologic modeling. Zone 1, and if that hasn't been done, it becomes a zone 2. If it hasn't been done by hydrogeologic modeling, that they do. And when they do the modeling, what they're trying to determine is what's the impacted area of the well. How much is it drawing from to get the water?
The recharge, so they like
Right,
will follow the contour lines and.
exactly. And so if in the absence of an approved zone 2, they have the interim wellhead protection area. And they all have a radius of, what did I say? Oh, this one's not predetermined. It depends on how they check it. And then zone 1, which these all are, that aren't interim, means the protective radius required around the public water supply is set if it has an approved yield at 400 feet. So 400 feet, a 400.
Yeah, I've run into that before.
Yeah, they're big.
They're sometimes
Okay.
mapped. You can see them on GIS.
Okay, and wellhead protection zoning collectively prohibits the siting of the following land uses within zone. I'll go to 1. 2 means a whole bunch of other different things. Okay. Unless designated in accordance with the specified performance standards and except for excavations for the construction of building foundations, the installation of utility works, or wetland restoration. So basically, if you decide it's installation of a utility work, it's exempt.
Did they send us a map or anything?
Yeah.
Yes, they did. Next down.
Oh,
It's kind of it's a relatively primitive map, but
Yeah.
it is a map. Okay.
because I've seen the maps where they show different radius circles on it.
Yes, they did not do that. I don't think so. I'll look on the back of this one.
No,
No, this just shows the wetlands and the natural heritage locations. And it more closely defines where the actual posts are. So you can go to the next one. There. All the orange dots are the replacement poles. And there's one that's up under the legend.
Hampden Country Club. It's pretty
Oh.
old.
Yeah, that's an old map. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, the Mass Mapper has changed it and it actually says Great Horse. But,
Yeah.
okay, so, yeah, they didn't put the wellheads on, so,
Hampden Town Forest.
yeah, it is Hampden Town Forest. It's
It is.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not, we monitor it and survey it from the land trust as if it was part of the conservation area,
Mm,
but officially it's not.
really?
It was preserved as a town forest way back.
What is that, like off the South Road?
No, it's right off the riverfront.
It's,
That little piece that sticks out there, that you can see where the Scantic goes by,
Mhm.
and it's just a little chunk there. I think it's about 20 acres or 30 acres.
I think it's like almost across the river from Country Auto.
Yeah,
Oh, that's where it is.
it's
On
right
the
there.
hillside.
Well, when we were talking about having a bridge across from Cumbies,
Yeah.
it would come out in the town forest.
Yeah,
That's where the bridge would go
Mm.
to. So it's a relatively important piece of land because and the other piece that was recently preserved as mitigation property is right next to it. It's a little triangle right next to it, so it broadens that,
Oh,
the choice of access.
that reminds me real quick while we're talking about that whole area. Have you been by Mr. Calantoni's on Main Street, right next to the nursing home? Well, you know how he has his house and property? Well, he's starting to clear that lot next to him, which belongs to his house, but it's right on the river. And he tried to sell it several years ago as a building lot. And he's clearing it like, 10 feet by 10 feet by 10 feet. So
Maybe you should, yeah, he's doing the gradual thing.
yeah,
So maybe you should send him a letter and remind him he needs to get an RD
Yep.
for clearing.
yeah. Well, he shouldn't be clearing it anyway.
No, we shouldn't, but he has to at least ask. And
Yeah.
if he has a reason, then we'll hear it.
Mm.
Or you'll hear it.
is that the guy that always says the car is for sale?
Yeah,
Yeah, and he blows all the leaves and he keeps his yard
Yes.
really perfect. But he has a wall behind his house that's always at risk for washing away. It's been replaced a couple of times and then he has like a
When you
moat
build in
that
a
comes out.
floodplain.
He has a moat that comes out from the river and is supposed to fill up to protect his house.
it does.
Right.
Mm.
And so that's the other thing is to watch. Make
I didn't
sure
mean
it
to-
stays.
Yeah, you don't get to do that these days.
I
Yeah.
just wanted to mention that before I forget out.
So I'm
Okay.
looking at Thorntonburg this time. So where are these poles? They're a main.
All the orange ones, yeah,
turn video.
We're back.
Okay, do you have to sign anybody in or did they all
I
chicken
don't think
out?
anybody was.
I
on
They
think
prob-
everyone
well,
left.
I
We'll
thought
see
I
if they
saw
join back
Carolyn.
in.
Yeah,
Uh,
And
Sibilio on there,
morning.
which is usually Gina.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cross.
and I don't know if Ted's really, on, or is that you?
This is us.
You're Ted, are you
Yeah, we're
Ted?
Ted, we're Ted.
Yeah.
Okay,
he always used his own profile.
yeah, okay, so, I lost my place here now.
Yeah, we're still on that.
Wellhead protection, yeah, and the poles. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you can see a lot of them also are in or near priority habitat. And priority habitat says it is exempt for installation, repair, replacement, and maintenance of utility lines, gas, water, sewer, electrical, for which all associated work is within 10 feet from the edge of existing paved roads, and for overhead utility lines, for which work is within 10 feet of the edge of existing unpaved roads.
Are there roads near those things?
It is a
It's
road.
all on Main Street.
They are all along Main Street.
Orange ones are going up in the woods, it looks like.
No, those two are going up driveways. Remember I listed other road names?
Oh, all right.
So one of them goes up Colonial Road. One of them goes up North Road, which is way up there high in that pole.
Okay, yeah.
And one of them goes up Mountain Road, which is the one that's way up by the label. You have to pull the picture down a little bit. It's way up there. That's Mountain Road. And Kelly Lane, which is along,
That's the one over on the side next to the white legend,
Yeah, so
all the way over to the left, right there. That's Kelly.
oh, that's Kelly. So where's North Road?
North Road's underneath the other legend.
Oh, okay, that's what I knew one of them was under a legend. I figured that out. Okay, so that's where they all are. But they are all on roadways.
Okay,
But they're all replacements, so
They're all replacements.
okay.
they're not, yeah.
The other one, actually, the BSC one has one anchor or something that's going up a driveway, but it's like a gravel driveway. Okay. So it is in priority habitat. All right. So I did not write conditions for this one because the question is, are the normal best management practices sufficient?
I did write a letter to
Same, I would say
Mr.
same-
Hutchinson.
Same conditions that we've used
Yeah,
all the time for the
they
replacement.
have our standard conditions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus the bottom line, it's exempt under the Hampden Wetland Protection Bylaw and MGL 131.
Yeah, but they still might have to be with conditions, so. But I don't think in this case, I didn't see anything that caused me great concern. They do have priority habitat there, so they're going to have to be a little bit careful.
But it's in the roadway though, right?
No, they're in the right of way,
But that's what I meant, right away.
right? But it's still wetlands, whether it's in the right of way or not. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I,
Oh, I
This is-
should have mentioned their priority habitat. They already have a CMP for that. That's basically a blanket management thing that they get from priority habitat in this particular area. Which is priority habitat 818. It's the one we always talk about. It's our biggest one.
What critter?
Box turtles, wood turtles, climbing fern, worm snake,
Oh, wow.
which hasn't been seen in 25 years, but there's still habitat, so they still call it. And what'd I forget? A mussel, a freshwater mussel. We also have some swap things. We have bristly, blanking out. See, it happens to old ladies all the time. A bristly,
Butterfly?
ranunculus essentially, yeah,
Oh, flower.
A flower.
Buttercup.
yes. Okay, and we have a couple of others, rat snake, a black snake that are all swaps. Okay. All in favor? Unanimous?
So what are you all in favor of? I mean, I have a,
Approving as written
Yeah.
with
Okay.
the standing BMPs and CMP.
We're not gonna have
Okay.
a secretary.
we have another one.
Yep, I know.
She's leaving.
No,
Nicholas Hebel, who has written us a lot.
no.
Yes,
Stick around a little bit.
Yeah, but she said very.
She said she was supposed to leave.
Yeah.
Well, but
what's that?
I'm talking about how we're going to fend for ourselves, the three of us.
Well, I am a phone call away. Not going anywhere. Okay, the last one is Conoco Miko project, 12665. Work request 308-94730 for 4 poles on Thresher Road, Stafford Road, Rockadundy, and Saint Germain. You have that one up?
I just pulled it.
Okay.
Else fuller.
Replacement utility poles, ground rod replacements and reconfiguration of overhead utilities. That will take place in riverfront area, 100-foot buffer to BLSF, and selective tree trimming and vegetation management.
so again, these are all replacements.
All replacements, no tree cutting, just tree trimming.
Okay.
It should qualify for the exemption under 310 CMR 101410. Or it will be completed under National Grid's operation and maintenance plan that's been approved by Natural Heritage. That's the broad CMP. Because they've got a small portion in priority habitat. It probably shows it on the next
Yeah,
page.
that, I wrote that in their letter. Replacement poles P7-3 and P7-5 will be located within the riverfront area associated with Temple Brook. And the commission feels the protective measures proposed will adequately protect the resource areas. I mean, they wrote a pretty extensive.
Yeah, you can see they wrote a long thing comparatively to what everybody else does,
Do you have- did
talking
you
about
have
their
a copy?
different exemptions and protections.
Yeah,
Anybody want to read it or?
because they included natural heritage, endangered species, the Hampden bylaw, Mass bylaw.
Yeah. Most will fall within previously disturbed road and road shoulder. P73, P75 will occur down a private driveway in the riverfront area of Temple Brook and the 100-foot buffer to BLSF. So it's that one that's down the driveway that's in the most. It's, I think I looked up the picture. It's basically, it all comes right to the driveway edge. And they've.
But there's there already, so.
There's one there already. Yeah. And on Thresher Road. Okay. Any questions? Greg?
What type of equipment do they use to put these poles in? Like massive cranes?
They're right on the big heavy duty trucks. They just lift them up
Yeah, yeah.
and drill. It's a big squirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a giant auger and so they essentially pull the old pole out.
Do they
And
tear up the terrain with these heavy vehicles?
no, usually they sit right in the street.
Yeah.
That's part of it's part of the
Driveway.
BMPs is that they have to do it from the road surface,
Yeah.
from the driveway.
Yep.
And then they pull out the pole and they dig around it to make it a good hole and pile the dirt to the side, put the pole back in and then they refill it. as a standing order, any dirt that's left over has to go with them.
On my road, you should have seen the track vehicle. Everybody would want one of those in their garage that they put,
That you
place
can
the
do it.
pole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My cable in, they found my pole was broken.
Oh, wow.
That's when I found out National Grid was
Hadn't
responsible.
fallen down on you yet, just broken. Huh?
Yeah, they,
It's weird how they just stand there sometimes. Okay, any other questions?
no,
All in favor?
I-
Aye. Okay. And for these, since they're just notifications, we just write them a letter,
Okay.
that says
Somebody signs it.
I did.
it's approved under the normal conditions and blah, blah, blah. So that they have an official agreement. A lot of them just send it expecting us to do nothing, but we found that we have a little more management of it if we send them a letter and review it first. That way we can ask questions. Occasionally I ask them to send us a list of trees if they're going to take down trees. It turns out this particular guy always files with Dana anyway. So Dana always has a list of trees.
Wow.
But if they change, we would
Is he
still
the
need. to
highway
do that.
department?
No, he's the ex-highway
He's a
department.
tree warden.
He's now the tree warden.
I remember him as a kid. Not a kid.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
been around a while.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's retired.
Okay, I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Do we have stuff on here? No.
Did you want to discuss anything
new-
about
The
the,
new agenda?
yeah, our site, or Tom is trying to coordinate the site?
Oh, yeah, we can do that, but we don't have to have that recorded, so we're
No, we
okay.
don't. Okay.
Yeah, we've got, the Main Street Bridge repair, which is right in front of Audubon where East Brook crosses.
I took that big folder with me to Florida and I was looking at it while I was down there 3 times.
That's a heck of a folder, isn't it?
I know.
We've got, lot 21-194-000 on Stony Hill Road.
That's Al's voice.
That's, I'm meeting with him tomorrow at
And
4:30.
he has 2 lots.
Well, we're only doing the
Well,
one.
this one is,
He said he's got somebody else doing that other one.
okay. And then we have
One-
an RDA from New England Equities to replace a retaining wall with concrete blocks on Scantic Road.
That guy's never gotten back to me, but I'm just gonna go look at it.
Okay.
It's easy.
The question, I mean, I have all the conditions that we wrote for the Sullivans and it's right
Yeah,
nearby, but the question is, do you think it takes anything else? You know, looking to see
yeah, well,
any extra conditions, anything like that. that you
Or a
think it needs?
NOI.
Or if you really think it needs an NOI, if it's going to be so complicated or so messy.
The replacement of the wall.
Yeah,
yeah, if you
I
want to,
mean, we already wrote a wall, we did a wall replacement for the Sullivans.
Okay.
And so the conditions would be essentially the same unless we ask them for an NOI or we add a
Mhm.
couple of conditions. Okay, then we've got an RDA for construction of a 14-by-20 pump house for transporting maple sap.
meeting
Yeah.
him next Wednesday before the
It's-
meeting.
My understanding is it's in Riverfront.
It's, well, from what he said, I think it's almost right on the brook.
Yes. So
But
I'm guessing.
I don't have an address.
Oh,
He told me, 0 South Road,
Yeah.
Wall.
where's
Yeah,
that?
it's all over the place.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I do know where his property is.
He has 2 properties. One is a big one that goes between South Road and
Chapin.
Chapin.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then he's got, his house is on,
he has that old,
other side.
it's not his anymore, but the old
uh,
antique home. I'm gonna try to, because he actually wanted to meet the commission there for the site inspection.
Yeah, that's what he said. That's why I did it for next Wednesday.
Yeah,
And just-
I'm presuming probably he's gonna have to file an NOI, but we have to have the site visit and
I'm thinking,
figure.
I don't know where to go.
yeah. Now, are all 3 of you going, or you can't make it?
I'm busy on Wednesday.
I did.
You and
send
Wendy
the
are gonna go?
email, So if
Okay.
you can go
Yeah.
tomorrow
I
at
have read the
4:30.
email, so.
Well, what you could do is on the map, if you put in New England Equities, you should come up with that property.
No, that's the one behind the
That's-
Hampden
Oh,
Highway.
that's
That's-
behind.
Just do that on
But
our,
what's the man's name?
The one on South Road, David Smith.
Yep.
So you can look under that and you should be able to find both the properties. And they face each other across South Road.
Can we, can we pull up property lines, GIS of town?
Yeah,
That area?
absolutely.
You know, I could probably get them right from the assessors tomorrow.
That's
Yeah.
You just go on the website and,
Yeah,
No, I didn't know if we could do it right now, look at.
oh, here, no.
you'd have to,
I didn't put a map in for that. I haven't prepared for next week yet. I'm still
No,
trying.
I know, next week.
There's so much.
Okay.
I've been working on the one for the bridge. That's the most complicated one. But we're also having 530 Glendale, either at the very beginning or the very end. I was going to put it at the beginning, but it got more complicated.
Oh, yeah.
Because the agriculture guy couldn't tie in. So now we have a farm report.
oh, yeah.
So I think I'm going to move it to the end.
Yeah, because
Um,
these people, some of them, like I had to promise them that they would be before Glendale.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
you know, that's not here nor there, but either way, I think we'll start out with probably the three small ones, then we'll do the bridge, then we'll do Glendale.
Mhm. Now, I have
But
a
I'm
que-
still working on the bridge and I haven't even gotten close to getting finished with the Glendale because I have to, still working on more conditions and stuff.
I have a question about Al Joyce, because he called me. No, I called him the other day just to make sure, you know, when I got his NOI for
Yep.
Stony Hill.
Yep.
And then he said to me, well, he said, you know, my wetland guy, he got a new one supposedly,
Right.
who reflagged,
Oh, that's
Well,
not
we-
on this list,
Okay.
right?
and he wanted that also on next Wednesday's meeting.
Oh, no.
But we never posted that one, so
Oh,
I
so
don't really have to though, because when he came in the first time, he's already been posted, so I didn't need to post it again,
Right, all right.
so. I don't know,
But there's a lot of people interested in that one. There were a lot of people that gave Bonnie calls and stuff about it.
I'm talking about Tracy's, they got.
Yeah,
gave me
that's what I'm
calls on.
talking about.
Yeah, I'm talking about, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, is Tracy's,
And you told me there was a lot of people that
Yes.
called and asked questions and.
yes,
So when he contacted me, because you told him to,
yeah,
and I set up tomorrow
for which,
to Stony Hill,
okay,
he said, oh, let me find it. I'll tell you what he said.
he's a sneaky Pete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I'm glad I did a site visit.
It's just.
At least we could,
And I'm out of
Check
this one
wetlands and
because
stuff.
I'm in a
You're in a
butter to this
butter,
property.
right,
Okay,
lucky you.
he said. Regarding 374A Wilbraham Road, Stephen Ribberty, wetland specialist, will be doing that site visit.
Well, he did the first one.
That's what he said. I just take it to
You realize
mean that.
Liberty is the same one that
Back.
the horrible
Yeah,
wildlife habitat.
yeah,
He's just,
and he told
he
me
can't
that,
do a site visit for the commission, can he?
it's not for the commission.
Oh,
no,
It's
Oh.
for Al Joyce.
oh. Who
So
was the gentleman that we met?
that's who we're talking about.
Yeah. It was done before and then you did the site visit and we said, and
Yeah.
so
Ribberty did
now
a bad job.
yeah, so he's getting Liberty back to do a second one, I guess.
He told me he hired a new person.
So we'll have to see after
Yeah.
he does his reflag.
And says a.
So he told you a new person, but it's really Liberty again.
That's what he's saying here.
Uh,
So since we've been there before, can we just go back
Yeah,
without him?
we could go without him.
You could call up Tracy and just ask her if you can go on her property. It's still hers.
Yeah, it belongs to
Oh, that's
Tracy.
true.
Yeah, and she's in the phone book.
Yeah, right, right.
So just
Okay,
call her up, ask her, is it okay if we walk on your property? She wants to sell the property,
Yeah.
so she's gonna say yes.
okay.
So we think it's been reflagged?
That's
He
what
said it
said.
was,
Yeah. Are we off?
but
We are, we
gonna go to-
recording.
the one on Stony Hill
Okay,
Let me
Just
see,
him.
sorry.
again
okay.
tomorrow.
Yeah, when we close the meeting.